All right. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. So I'm just waiting for more people to join us for live stream, and we're gonna chat about what is the best place to live for an iOS developer, or really for any like software developer. But I will be focusing on iOS developers because I'm an iOS developer, and when I think about the best place to live for me, I am considering my specialty because I don't want to change my specialty to anything else but mobile development and iOS development. So this is what I'm going to do. So if you are here, just say hi and let's chat about. If you have any questions or thoughts or opinions, let me know, and the chat is open. Feel free to chat and have a conversation. So I think when it comes to deciding which place is the right for you, well, as for me, the first thing that I looked at is the job market. Can I afford, or can I find a job in the place that I would like to live? Is there or if there is enough opportunities for me to move there to live in a particular place? Because when I was looking for a job here recently, I got a lot of calls from all over the United States. I got a call from Indiana. I don't really remember which city or which town it was. It was a small town. It wasn't Indianapolis or anything like that. And the opportunity sounded really, really good. But I decided not to go with it. And I decided not even interview with that company because A, I'm not moving to Indiana. B, if I decide to leave my job, I would have to move somewhere else eventually, or I would have to commute to Chicago, and it would be a really long commute. And considering where it was in Indiana, it was really, really long commute, and it was just not the right opportunity. Yes, the company is great. The cost of living is really cheap there in comparison to other places. I could have probably bought like a house like really quickly there. But after that opportunity, then what? Like, what if that startup or that company eventually goes out of business? So then what? I'm stuck in the middle of nowhere, and I need to find a job, and I would need to move to somewhere else to find a job, which is also expensive. And when you're looking for a job, or like when you don't have a job, you're kind of in between places, to like the relocation is really like can be stressful. So, and not a lot of employers would sponsor relocation. So the job market is really, really important. The second factor that I consider is the lifestyle and the culture and the reputation of the place. For example, I couldn't live in a conservative place. I'm sorry. I'm more progressive person. I'm not. I would say I'm kind of in the middle. So I'm not like too like extreme liberal, and I'm not conservative by any means. So, but like I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm like Chicago liberal. I'm like Midwest liberal in a way. So, definitely liberal places like Seattle are attractive to me, or Denver also like attractive to me, or like New York City. All those beautiful, more progressive cities are very, very attractive to me. So that's another factor that I consider when I'm relocating to a new place. The third factor that I consider is climate. So I don't like very long cold winters. So probably places like Chicago, even though I like the culture, even though I like the city, everything is perfect there. The job market is absolutely amazing there. But the long winters, it's just not for me. Long winters, it's just not for me. I don't do well winters. I'm okay with the snow. I'm okay with the cold, but it has to change. It can't stay that way for 9 months a year. And then we have really short summer, and then we have beautiful fall, and then we have like frozen hell for however long. I used to live in Chicago, so that's why I decided to move to Florida. So, so let's chat about when it comes to like iOS development market, where what is the best place to live? Where is the best job market? So, and I'm gonna start with sharing my experiences of the places that I used to live, and the first place is Chicago, and I don't want to be just objective or subjective. So I want to actually bring the Indeed.com, and we are going to look for jobs on iOS development market because it is the one of the most important things to consider. So, and we're going to look for jobs market. I'm going to tell you my impressions about the culture and the people and what I liked and what I didn't like about the place. And you can decide for yourself if it is a right place for you. So let's start with Chicago. iOS developer, and I want to look at Chicago, Illinois. And I want to look at Chicago, Illinois. So, do we have a count? So, like, what we have 164 jobs. Mind you, that number may not be just all iOS developer roles. It might be just software developer or developer. So, like, you kind of have to go piece by piece. But let's take a glance at like Chicago market overall, because when you dive in the local market, so there are two layers. Like the first artificial layer, when you look at the Indeed and say like, oh, like, yeah, like I see a lot of jobs. And you go to the next page. Oh, and it's asking my email. I'm not giving my email. Like, yeah, like mobile developer. Another like page of mobile developer. It looks really great. So this is the first layer, and this is really, really good news. So you have a choice. Then you have to dive a little bit deeper into each position and see what they're about. So see what specialty do you have? Are they looking for React Native? Are they looking for native iOS developer? Are they looking for Flutter? So kind of assess your skills and your specialty in mobile space and what they're looking for. So, but normally, if you're looking for a mobile developer job and like you are fluent in iOS, in native iOS development, it's probably not going to be a huge problem for you to learn React Native. And then a lot of employers are very open to have a native iOS developer pick up a React Native. But I'm going on a tangent here. So let's look at the at the job market. So junior iOS developer, not for me. I mean, if you're junior iOS developer, this is probably, well, even $20, $28 per hour for Chicago. This is too low. This is too junior. So, but again, like you gotta see that kind of job like anywhere. Like in Seattle, it's probably gonna be like what, $30 per hour. and Chicago ain't cheap. So senior iOS developer, $90 per hour, like that's good. Like, and it's a contract. So another thing to consider, like, do you see a lot of full-time opportunities, or you see a lot of contracts? And you're gonna see a lot of contracts, which is absolutely fine to start out with. So iOS Swift developer, another contract. iOS mobile application, okay, another contract. United Airlines, 100% remote. So like, I'm going to like that. And if I didn't have a job, I would have applied. Red Foundry, let's look at that. Client services team. The position will be primarily responsible for developer and iOS apps for clients. So another body shop, another agency, software developer and agency. So not the full-time employment. But again, if you just want to relocate and see like the job market, like you're gonna see a lot of contracts, which is fine. The same here in Seattle. So PayPal, all right. So PayPal, and it is a full-time job, iOS software engineer. This is a good sign. So but you kind of get a gist of it. So and like SAP, well, like, I don't know what it means. JavaScript developer. So like, now you see a lot of garbage. So like, you're looking for iOS developer, but you're gonna see those kind of positions. So like, we have a chat here. I have a few years of experience as a backend developer, and I want to become iOS engineer. I plan to quitting my current job and taking a few months off to learn iOS development. Well, if you can afford it, go for it. I would say it's definitely good to be in a place where you can focus and learn, because it's a lot. Learning a new technology, learning new skills, it's a lot. What will be the best way to get a job as an iOS engineer when I start looking for a job? What would be the best way to get a job? So what would be the best way to get a job? You have to have some sort of iOS experience job. I would say, like, if you're already a software developer, it's not going to be as difficult for you to pick up iOS development. So like, yes, there's a learning curve. It's a new technology. It's a new programming language, yada, yada, yada. But you already know the concepts. You already know how to code. So get up to speed with Swift or with iOS development and start building out the projects, and see if you can find maybe you can find clients that you can develop mobile apps for them. So what I did, I reach out to my friends who own a startup, and they're teaching other people how to do test automation. And I decided to partner with them, and I decided to build mobile apps for them. So I'm building that relationship, I'm building that experience, but it doesn't have to be, like us. My example, you can reach out to local businesses and say, hey, do you need a mobile app? Like cafe, restaurant, like a lot of businesses in your area, they might appreciate your service, and you can build a simple mobile app for them. So just to bump up their business, and I'm sure they're gonna appreciate that. And you can negotiate the price as well. Like, they might have a budget for mobile app, but again, you need to have an experience. You need to demonstrate, hey, this is my mobile app. This is what I did. This is what I do. And if you know backend development and you know iOS development, you're full stack iOS developer, I think you have a really good chance finding a job as an iOS developer. So if you want to completely quit backend development and never look back again, then you can find those opportunities as well. But if you are open to combine your skills as a backend developer with iOS development, I think you will be golden on the market, honestly, because we need a strong backend developers who understand iOS development and kind of can do both. So I think you will be in a good position. So this is Chicago, but the job market is good, and the culture is good. I like the culture in Chicago area. So people are great, food is great. It's very vibrant city. So I absolutely love Chicago. So I love going back there and hanging out with people. So I absolutely recommend Chicago as a place to live. The only downside that kind of scares me for that city, or not scares me, but kind of bothers me, that the winter is long and really brutal, and it's really it gets really depressing. Everything is gray. Everything is gray, and there's nowhere to go. So if I were skiing, I would go skiing, but like Illinois is so flat, there are no slopes, so it's a downside. But again, if you find with cold, Chicago is the best, is one of the best place to go. My second place where I used to live was Tampa, Florida. So, and let's look at the Tampa job market for iOS developer. Tampa, Florida. Find jobs. So, iOS developer 100% remote. Like iOS developer Tampa, Florida. Okay, let's see. It looks like it might be it might be a full-time job. Okay, we have one full-time job. This is cool. Like tax track software, iOS and Android developer. Is probably gonna be like React Native. Salary is 60K to 100K. Yo, I think it's a little low for Tampa area, to be honest with you though. Like just give you perspective. In Tampa, I was working as a QA engineer. I was doing test automation, but like it was kind of both manual and test automation, and manual part was pretty heavy. So I was making 60K like as a QA. 60K is a junior developer role. Junior iOS junior software developer, junior backend developer, and it was also mid-level QA, manual QA engineer role as well. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's a little low. I would say like one. I would. So like, what is the title? Is it senior? Which level is that? Like 4 years of experience. So it's probably mid-level. It's a tough one. I would say like 80 to 115. It's a little too low. It's not too bad, but I think it's a little too low. So like another thing with Florida market, they don't pay well, unfortunately. Well, job and like 91 to 120. That's what I'm talking about. 2 years of experience. That's what I'm talking about, Florida. Yeah, that's the correct salary. So software developer Tampa, like again, like I don't know if it is a mobile developer or what. It doesn't look like it's a mobile developer. Senior web developer, mobile developer, $49 per hour. No. iOS developer. I mean, like it's for a junior, maybe so, but like for a solid like mid-level or even like especially senior iOS developer, I personally wouldn't, I don't know. Software developer management, iOS and Android. So yeah, like I would definitely look at this company, Penske Truck Leasing Company. I would definitely look at this company. So like if you're looking to relocate to Tampa, like yeah. Chevy, any advice for a person who is entering iOS development from a completely different job and focus in relocation from XUSSR? So that's a good question. That's a good question. So if you are looking to enter iOS development market from completely different field, completely different profession, I would say learn iOS development first. Learn Swift programming language first. It's crucially important. Understand the programming language, understand how it works, because if you don't Swift really well, or if you don't know the fundamentals of Swift really well, a lot of things not gonna make a lot of sense. So it's really important to have your fundamentals in place. And I'm going to give you a good resource to get started. Hacking with Swift. So learn and 100 day of code, I think. So like this is a great place to start. So start there. Like you will learn your fundamentals of iOS development and start building projects, start building your portfolio. And oh, hey there, how are you doing? Yeah, thank you for jumping on my live stream. So like it's really important to build your portfolio and focus on relocation from ex-USSR. If you want to relocate to the United States from former Soviet Union, and it's gonna be tough because you want to apply for work visa, or like you wanna think about like your visa situation, because work visa H1B, it's gonna be really tough, and you gotta have really good experience. So I would say find a job in your country first and have really, really solid experience as an iOS developer there, like for a few years, and then try to get an H1B visa and move to the States like that. And what I heard is that visa I think it is O1. I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not a lawyer. I can't really speak about visas too much, but like O visa is a visa for people with special talents or for talented people. And software engineer can qualify as a talented person, because it is a rare talent to do software development. And if you prove that you have extraordinary development ability, so meaning you have your YouTube channel, you have your publications, you have your tutorials, you're spreading the knowledge. So yeah, 100 days of Swift UI are awesome. Yeah, I would say start with 100 days of UI kit. Have your UI kit fundamentals first, then jump with 100 days with Swift UI. Is what I personally do. Outstanding person. Yeah, that visa. So you want to look into that as well. But so I would say tackle your technical abilities first. Make sure that you're rock solid with development first, and then work with an immigration lawyer, an immigration attorney, to find the best way for you to immigrate, because there are a few ways to move from your country to the United States. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. So, and for y'all who is just joining, we're talking about what is the best place to live for an iOS developer. And right now we're on Tampa, Florida. And my conclusion is, oh, 135K for Tampa, Florida, elite mobile iOS. Yeah, that sounds about right. Tampa job market for iOS developers can be hit or miss. So I used to live in Tampa, and I live in Tampa. Granted, it was like what 4 years ago. 4 years ago, there weren't a lot of mobile developer jobs there. So, or mobile market was just crickets everywhere, crickets. But clearly, clearly, we see that situation is improving a little bit. Full stack, but again, hit or miss, hit or miss. In terms of the culture, well, I'm gonna be straight with y'all. I I don't like Florida. Not because of the weather. The weather is nice, and hurricane season, like that's alright. Like I can go and party like during hurricane party with my friends. Hell yeah. So I was that person who would like go party with other people, and there's a hurricane, there's a like wind blowing up, and everything is like there's storm outside and things like that. And I'm just like I like it's okay, it's okay. We're just gonna go party. We're just gonna go for a drive. There's a hurricane going on, so why wouldn't we go for a drive? So, but Florida is a little bit conservative place. So, and I don't do well with conservative places. So I don't do really well with conservative places. That's why I decided to relocate to Seattle. So many companies are moving their office to Austin, Texas. Yeah, that's true. Austin is one of the places to live, and we can look into Austin, Texas, and see the job market out there. So, but my next place and my current place where I live is Seattle, Washington. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just like I hear a little noise out of my mic stand, and I can't figure out what could possibly be wrong with that. But okay, I get distracted. I get distracted, y'all. So big fish. Oh yeah, they're a gaming company, and they wanted to interview me. So and yeah, I've worked there, and I think, and I know a person. My coworker used to work there, and iOS developers and Android developers there. They're not really focused on games. They're not developing games. They're developing other stuff for their mobile application, for their mobile games, because mobile games is not just a game. Like you have like account, you have you have payments, you have so many stuff that goes into like gaming infrastructure for your app. So they do exactly that. I would work there. I haven't heard a lot of negative I haven't heard a lot of negative reviews for them. And when I heard about their interview process, they actually give you a take-home project you have to complete. So I would work there. So the company that I work for is out of Texas, but I work remotely. Yeah, like a lot of companies work remotely right now. Another iOS developer, 100% remote. It is Redline Solution. It is a contract. 55 to $65 per hour. It's okay. Like it's okay, but I would say like 65 is about right. Like I would target 65, 70 to be honest with you, but like 55, 65, yeah, it's about right. It's not perfect, but it's not too too bad. So it's about average. So software development, Facebook. Ooh, yeah, we have Facebook here. 85 to 95, that's what I'm talking about. Software engineer Facebook. Yeah, Facebook interview is really, really hard. Cyber coders, it's a really big range though, like 130 to 250, but it's a good salary. So 130 to 250, yes, yes. That's what I'm talking about. Software dev engineer iOS. Hello, Nicholas. How are you doing? Amazon, cyber coders, T-Mobile. I used to work for T-Mobile. Well, it's good to have exposure to like the job market and like what people are making and what you can make. And what I hear sometimes from iOS developers, from QA engineers, from software developers and tasks, that unfortunately many developers undervalue themselves and undersell themselves, and companies are taking advantage of it and they pay their employers like very little money, unfortunately. But like this is why we have the community, where we can come together and like kind of talk about money and talk about salary and talk about best places to live. So this is why we get together. So well, T-Mobile is a good company. So that's all about that's all I'm gonna say. I used to work there as a contractor, and I decided to move forward with another company. I decided to move forward with Nordstrom. I had an amazing manager there, but I wanted to work full time, and I'm gonna stop right there. So I by all means I appreciate my experience with T-Mobile. So if you want to work for T-Mobile, go right ahead, try it out. Center, easy to apply. So because I live here and because I'm on the job market right here in Seattle, it's really interesting. There are a lot of companies out here that are hiring for iOS developers, but iOS development market here is okay. It's not perfect. It's not bad. It's okay. Sometimes I just bounce between the same companies. Like normally when I go on the job market, I bounce between Amazon, T-Mobile, Best Buy, and Disney. 4 companies. And I just go around and around and around. It's really rare. Once in a while, I interview with a new startup or a new company here. But that's about, like we have Providence Health and Services here, but like they not always have openings for iOS developers, and Providence Health and Services is an amazing company. So a lot of people have different opinions. I know a lot of people hate it, and Providence went through a lot of like turmoil in terms of the culture, but I worked there twice and I loved it. So just my experience, I highly recommend it. I had an amazing manager, I had an amazing team. So some companies from Europe are opening US offices in Delaware because of some kind of lower taxes. Maybe I know nothing about taxes in Delaware, but like that might be a possibility as well. So like I would like if you're an iOS developer, I would recommend Seattle definitely. The culture of Seattle is very liberal. It's a liberal mecca. So you're gonna see a lot of extreme in terms of liberal people, and I'm not complaining. Like I'd rather have extreme liberal people than extreme conservative people. ideally I would have just, like my Chicago people around me, because like they're great. So they're never too extreme on either end. They're kind of like they just mingle with you, and they just don't care about your political affiliation. As long as you're a good person, as long as you're not an asshole, like they will hang out with you, and we can have our differences. But here it can be a little bit extreme sometimes. Seattle freeze is real, too real. So let me tell you about kind of our experience here. We lived here for about 3 years. We didn't make any friends except for one family that we hang out on regular basis. It was never the case in Florida. It was never the case in Chicago. So, if you need to mingle with people, if you need to make friends, if you're a social person like myself, Seattle can be hard at times. But what helps us in Seattle is the nature. We like hiking, we like the nature, we like the mountains. So when it's warm out, I would like to go hiking. I would like to go out and about. And because it's two of us, so it's a little bit easier. So if you like nature is honestly a nice escape from Seattle freeze. So so I make 35 an hour, and I pay bills in Boise. It's 55 plus is normal in Seattle. Yeah, 55 plus is absolutely normal in Seattle. Like, I would say $60 per hour. So for mid-level engineer, I would say $60 is honestly like it's the best. If you're for a senior engineer, I would say I would go like 65, 70, up to like all the way to $100 per hour if you are a really solid senior engineer. But like you can probably make $60 per hour in Seattle easily. So easily. $35 per hour, I would say it's a little low. You can and I've been on your live streams. I've seen your code. I think you have solid skills. And I know algorithms and data structures is a struggle. It's my struggle. I never do that. I never do them well. But hey, like you have really good iOS development skills, and you can totally make way more than $35 per hour, just in my opinion. So this is Seattle. And the next place I would like to move in the future is Denver, Colorado. And let's look at Denver, Colorado. Denver or Boulder. And Denver, Boulder, they're not too far apart from each other. So, Pensa system. It's remote job. So let's see. It's full time. All right, that's good. I want like 2 years, 4 years. Okay. Full job description. Okay, they have jobs. So 137K per year. I would say it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's like mid-level. It's a good mid-level for Colorado area, I would say. Because Colorado is a little bit cheaper than Washington, than Seattle. And I think I talked to someone from Denver, and I think they were senior engineer, and I think it might be even senior role, but like again, it depends on the company. 115 to 135K Meh, 135K. Please and thank you. Oh, senior iOS developer. See, hell not, hell not, hell not. Senior iOS developer doesn't make 115K in, like, or shouldn't make 115K in Colorado, Denver, because Denver is fucking expensive. I say F word, and our chat, coffee chat, Swift and cursive words is on Sunday tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. So, but it's okay. Like they got me. They triggered me. This is a cool live stream going through jobs and talking about the pros and yeah, thank you. I was thinking about it. Like, yeah, let's talk about jobs and different places to live. And oh my god, 77K per year. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Oh, to like it must be a startup. 3,000 a month. It must be a startup. It must be a startup. 2 years of experience required. It must be a startup. 122K per year. Again, Visio. It's pretty like it's in the middle. See, like 122, 125. It's very, very in the middle. But considering cost of living in Denver, like, it's okay. It's okay. It's not like perfect, but it's okay. Based on what I've seen so far, I think it's high. I think it's high. What about what about Seattle, the place you living? I've just talked about Seattle. Seattle is great, and Seattle has a decent job market for iOS developers. But for in terms of the local culture, Seattle is very, very liberal. So sometimes you see certain extreme, but like again, like it's nothing bad. It's nothing bad. It just like depends on your personal preferences. Uh, Companies pay really well here, majority of the time. You just have to look harder. So like my problem in Seattle job market, I have to turn down like a number of applications because the pay is not like it's not what I'm looking for. So and I would say I'm pretty savage when it comes to like salary negotiations. So I'm aiming for like on the higher end salary or compensation. So like that's why it can be a little bit harder for me here. In terms of the social, in terms of the social stuff in Seattle, it's a little tough here to make friends. Seattle freeze is real. I I've lived here for 3 years. I haven't made a lot of friends. We made one family that we hang out on a regular basis. That's about it. So if you're a social person and if you need to connect with other people, if you like to hang out with other people, Seattle may not be a place for you because it will upset you at the end of the day. And like after 3 years living here and not making connections and not making friends, that gets to me, especially in the pandemic, because yes, we can see each other, but like when you have friends, you can Zoom, you can Skype, you can do it safely. You can gather outside wearing masks. Yeah, you don't have to like stay indoors. So you can keep your distance. You can go on the hike or like like you can find places to support each other. But um, what is a nice salary for junior iOS developer? Oh, let's say. Oh, I think I missed something. Um, Contractor versus full time. Which one make more? It depends. Certain contractors can make more. Certain full time jobs can make more. So it's all about negotiation. So I was working at T-Mobile as a contractor, and now I'm at Nordstrom as a full-time employee. I was able to keep the same base salary, but with Nordstrom, like it's a full-time, we might have bonuses, stuff like that. Like as a contractor, you're probably not gonna have bonuses. So it depends. And PTO, I had PTO as a contractor. Well, let me get it straight. I was a contractor, but like I was a full-time employee for my agency that I used to work for. It was ProKarma. ProKarma is an amazing agency. So they hired me full time. I was working there as a full time. So I had PTO. So it was good. So like kind of depends on the company. What is a nice salary for junior iOS devs? So like it kind of depends. So I would say, I don't know, like I would say the absolute minimum, where like it depends on the place where you live. In Seattle, it probably would be around $40 per hour. Yeah, in Seattle area for junior dev. Um, in other places it might be lower. Like it all, see, like it all depends on your like skill level. Because if you're a junior developer at Google, your game is going to be totally different. And if you're a junior developer at startup, your salary is going to be really, really, really low because they don't have a lot of budget. So it's hard to aim. So I think when you're looking for your first job, get that first job, what you can, get that experience, and go for the money. So $65 at Apple in taxes is fine. I'd say it's fine. I'd say yeah. Well, yeah, $65 in taxes. It's a cheaper area, and it's fine. I'd say it's fine. Like for a contractor, yeah. So like this is where are we at? Where are we at? We are in Denver, Colorado. So and I heard a lot of good things about Denver, and 65 per hour Denver, 45. No, 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 it's a little too low. Use some of your tutorials to boost myself from junior iOS dev to iOS dev lead. Keep it up. Keep up with good work. Also, realistically, what are the chances for someone that has high school diploma to move to the United States? Um, well, it depends how you move to the United States. Because there are many ways you can move to the United States. You can move to the United States with like O visa, yeah. If you, and again, I'm not an immigration attorney, so like you probably would like to go and look for other YouTubers who talk about immigration, because like I don't know. So, but like it is possible. Short answer is it is possible to move to the United States, which is a high school diploma. Yes. There are other ways. There are many other ways you can move, like DV lottery, like green card lottery is one of the options. So you can win your lottery green card, and you can move to the United States. Why not? So it's one of the ways. But again, I'm not a lawyer, and I don't talk about immigration because I don't want to say things that aren't true. So $10 in Eastern Europe for senior iOS developer. Well, you also have to consider the cost of living. So probably the cost of living in Eastern Europe is cheaper than in the United States. But like again, I don't live there, and I don't know. I don't know what the $10 there would be versus I don't know. It's like it's hard to say. Okay, fuck. I'll get tourist visa and stay as an illegal. Uh, well, like just FYI, we don't like it's not really polite to say illegal. I would say undocumented immigrant. So just because no human is illegal, but like if you don't live in the United States in the United States, like you might not be aware of certain things how we say things. So, but like, you don't have to stay as illegal or as an undocumented immigrant. See, like, I got myself. There are other options. So, if you experience persecution in your country, you might apply for political asylum. This is all I'm gonna say. I'm not a lawyer, so look for a legal advice from a lawyer. So, as you mentioned before, you was a contractor at T-Mobile and you turned into full time. How was the experience of interview there? Was it deeply algorithm data structure? So at T-Mobile, I had really great experience at T-Mobile in terms of the interview. There wasn't really anything like data structures and algorithms. I had two interviews at T-Mobile. One was for full time, didn't get that job. The second one was a contractor. I got that job. Both interviews, like full time interview was really intense. They asked me one algorithmic question that was okay. It wasn't anything like difficult. I For the contract role, nobody asked me about my algorithms and data structures. They grilled me really, really well about iOS development and job specifics, but like not algorithms and data structures. So, um, so, um, what else? So, what other places we would like to see? Let's see. Let's see San Francisco and Bay Area. San Francisco, California. San Francisco, California is really expensive place to live. The rent is outrageous. The housing market is really outrageous. There are a lot of companies. The job market there is really, really, really well. 250 to 300 a month, one bedroom apartment, 150 to 200 food and other items for Minsk, Belarus. Okay. Okay. All right. So like 150 hmm. So overall, yeah, LA. We will get to the LA. We will get to LA like right after San Francisco. So like it's really good. It's really really good place in terms of the job market. A lot of companies like FANG companies, Google, Apple, whatever. So a lot of good opportunities there, and the job market is really really hot. But again, like 95 to 125 like dollars per year, that's nothing. That you can survive on that money in San Francisco. I'm sorry, and like what level? Uh, they don't even have a level full time. Um, yeah. So $60 to $70 per hour. So like yeah, they have a lot of good Zillow. Zillow is a good company. I interviewed with them, so like the interview process is reasonable, and the pay is, you know, you should negotiate. Jarvis, like so 200K is more realistic. Cyber coders, developer remotes. 200K is more realistic than 120. So, but like how many years of experience they're looking for, they didn't say. But like, yeah, San Francisco, like, again, it's really hard to find really high pay. Like, in all places, per my experience, it's really hard to find a job that pays really, really well. So I was looking for a job as a, like, when I was on the job market for about 3 months. I could have get a job sooner, but I have certain number in place in my mind that I would like to keep, and that's why it took me a while. Like, and 3 months is really, it's really not that bad, but because I have certain salary expectations, that's why it takes a little bit longer. And in San Francisco, the same. Like, you have to interview a little bit longer to like get a little bit better. So let's jump to LA. Let's jump to LA, California. LA, Los Angeles. So, mobile develop. What I can say, like, from for the LA has a really good job market there. So, and a lot of companies reach out to me from LA. Beachbody is one of the companies that reach out to me, like a couple of times actually, when I was looking for a job. So, and they pay well, I think. So Arizona, like, another company that I like in LA area is Good RX. It's a prescription company that help you to find the right prescription for the right price. So Good RX is really good. Yeah. So I don't see the number. See, like, on Indeed, if I don't see the number, it might be a good thing, it might be a bad thing. Usually, it might be a good thing because I can negotiate if they post a number, and normally it's a lower number. I can't really negotiate as much with them, unfortunately. So, what company have you had the best interview process at? Nordstrom. It's the best interview process I ever had, and something is not like, sorry. Nordstrom is absolutely the best interview process I ever had. It was intense, but it wasn't like your algorithms and data structures. It was deeply iOS specific, like specialty specific, and I liked that. Like, the first portion was like coding exercise and developing iOS or like modifying iOS applications that they're already written for you. The second interview was with a program manager or TPM. Absolutely great discussion. After that, I had a discussion with another iOS developer and with a manager. So, like, absolutely amazing experience. So, probably the best experience I ever had. What are numbers for taxes? So, what are numbers for taxes? Let's see. Austin, Texas. Yeah. Austin, Texas. If we have any numbers here, like PayPal here, okay. PayPal is everywhere. Looks like it. PayPal, like 130. Oh, yeah. Like, that's a good number. 130 to 250 for Austin, Texas. And again, like, I haven't looked into rental and house market in Austin, Texas, but that's a good damn number. That's a good damn number for Texas. Absolutely. What, like 120 to 200? Yeah, absolutely. Austin. Yeah, it looks like Austin is another hot place for iOS developers. It's another hot place for iOS developers. And here we go. We have $28 per hour for and yeah, it's a junior iOS developer. Oh well. They try. And like, see, I think we've seen that company before. I think we've seen that company in Chicago area as well. So, well, you know, uh, and here we go again. Here we go. Like 3 years of experience, 65 to 75K. Girl, please get out. No, just no. iOS developer, no, no, no. And again, like for taxes, it might be median salary. And again, I'm not familiar with taxes, cost of living. So if you live in Texas, and like you might as well say in the chat, hey, you don't know what you're talking about. It's absolutely normal salary here. So, but for me, like, I would not relocate to Texas for 70K a year. I'm sorry, I'm not taking it. Like, no, no. It's like let me do math, because like I don't do math really well. How much it would be, how much lower it would be for me to move to Texas to make that kind of money. Um, one, okay. So, yeah, 70. Yeah, it's a half of my salary, almost. Maybe a little less, but like, damn, I'm not taking a half of my of what I'm making now to move to Texas. Sorry, y'all. Um, yeah, looks like Texas, like, was 75, 150. It's like totally normal. They have probably a wide range of positions. They probably have like junior to senior, or and you can land somewhere in the middle. You can land like at 135K. Fine, okay. Yeah, I love it when you say 5 years plus of experience and like less than 60K. Yes, yes, yes. A lot of companies do that. I don't know. They have to get real. They have to get up to speed with the market here. But unfortunately, you see a lot of companies like that. And like, when people are desperate and like they really need a job, they will take it. But the sad thing and really disadvantage for them is that they like those people are gonna go. Those people are gonna go. They're not gonna stay. They're not gonna stay. They're gonna go for better money. So it's gonna be a stepping stone for them. They're gonna work there for like, I don't know, 6 to 9 months, and then they're gonna jump to another job opportunity, and then they're gonna end up in the same position where they were before. So might as well to adjust your finances well. Like, but I don't know. Like, I don't run the business, and situations might be different. And maybe like five plus years of experience, maybe it's artificial requirement. Maybe they will hire a junior developer with 0 years of experience for that kind of money. Like, they have to. Like, they have to, because yo, it's really rare when respects that iOS developer who has I don't know. Like, it's really rare when like a solid iOS developer would agree for that kind of pay. So it's just what I'm thinking. So what else? So like, whoever requested taxes, like Austin is a good place. It's a good market. Let's see Houston, Texas. Let's say Houston, Texas. Uh, did I spell it wrong? Um, Texas. Mm, whatever. Austin, Texas, Denver. Weird. Maybe I'm spelling it wrong. Look, I'm tripping here. Oh, yeah, I am spelling it completely wrong. You, well, now we know I can spell. Huh, interesting. Um, yeah. Let's look up Boulder, Colorado. Boulder is it's a little town in Colorado, and it's really similar to Seattle. It has that kind of vibe, Seattle vibe. Houston. Yeah, like I will get back to it. Like I don't know, Indy is tripping or I'm tripping. I don't know. Live stream is hard. So Boulder, like 90 to 120. Okay. Okay. Like 120, 120. I like 120. Uh, you see that like this company is so desperate that they post jobs everywhere. It's probably a remote job too. 137. Okay. And I just talked to a recruiter from Boulder, and he said that like average. Let me see his message. Let me see his message. What he said. Uh, so what he said that for mid-level developers around 150 to 160K, and for senior 160 to 180K. For lead developers, what did I do? For lead developers is uh, for lead developers is about 200K plus. So um um what is that like? Brook Store. It's a good contracting agency, but like it's a little lower. It's a little on the lower side. But Boulder has a lot of startups. So, and again, startups, they may or may not have like really good money. So another like I think we've seen that company before. I think they're also trying to post everywhere they can and see whatever sticks. All right. Apple. Yes, Boulder has Apple. Boulder has Apple and Google. So I don't know. Honestly, I rather move to Denver. I kind of like Denver vibe a little bit better because like Boulder is just like Seattle, and I lived in Seattle. So what else? Yeah, let's try Houston. Okay. Huh, I was tripping. I was tripping, y'all. Sorry. Okay. Houston. Java developer, senior mobile application developer, like 4560. It's Java. It's senior. Yeah, Nicholas. Denver is nice. 45 to 60. Nah. Again, like I know maybe Houston is not as expensive, but like I'm not just cutting that much out of my salary to move to Houston. I don't care how cheap it is, because when you think about things like your car, your health insurance, your other expenses, like you don't want to just cut it in more than half and move to cheap place. So like for 100K for a cheap place maybe, but not. I don't know. This is yo. There's another thing about cheap places. Normally, cheap places are a little bit more conservative. and they may or may not have a good job market. So, and normally more expensive places, they're more liberal and they have more job opportunities. So, yes, it is more expensive, but you're getting more and you are paying that price to be in that environment. So what about New York? It's a good question. Let's talk about New York. Let's look at New York, and we over an hour, and we're probably gonna wrap it up after New York, unless you have any questions. New York, New York. So New York is super expensive place. Manhattan is even more expensive than San Francisco. So New York has really good job market. I'm telling you right now, New York has really good iOS development job market. So no doubt about it. No doubt about it. So, but like, can we get any numbers? Can we get some numbers here from New York? I just want to see what they like, even like if they post any numbers, if it is realistic to New York market. We don't have any numbers. We don't have any numbers, but New York pays really. Well, again, it depends on the company. Anywhere in the U.S., you will see those companies that, like in a very expensive city, like that in San Francisco, they will ask you to work for $30 per hour, and look at you like, yo, that's reasonable. Be thankful for that. I'm offering you $30 per hour in San Francisco. It's tough, y'all. So anywhere, I came across those companies in Seattle when they just like, hey, like we're just offering you, so such and such salary, and I say no, thank you. Or sometimes startups, they would be really straightforward and say, hey, we like everything about your experience, and we can move quickly because we like what we see, and the interview process is going to be rather easy, quick and easy, but this is what we offer. And I had to say no because I have certain financial responsibilities and I have certain financial expectations. So Kirkland has Google, and the Apple is moving some jobs to, yes, there's Google in Seattle, or like Kirkland. There's Apple in Seattle. Apple in Seattle. Yeah, absolutely. Spotify has an office in New York. Yes, I believe so. So, y'all, we've been chatting and hanging out together for like an hour and 13 minutes. Do you have any last minute questions? Do you have any questions? If you have any questions, let me know, because I think we're about to wrap it up. Unless you have other places that you're interested in, because there are so many places in the United States to live. We haven't covered what areas we haven't covered. We haven't covered Carolinas. It's another hub that has a lot of that has a lot of jobs. It's a cheaper place to live, much cheaper place to live, and it has a lot, and there's a lot of jobs. So I know a lot of I know a lot of people from North Carolina, from South Carolina, who moved there for jobs, and it's a good place to live. I mean, it's a little bit conservative, so that's why I'm not moving there. But like, they have jobs. They absolutely have jobs. So I know there's a little bit of delay for the live stream, so I'm just gonna stare at my chat quietly. Unless you have any questions, we're gonna wrap it up. Salt Lake City, and I haven't put my Laptop on non-disturb. Salt Lake City, Utah. Is it Utah? Yeah, you absolutely. I agree, Utah. So let's see. Salt Lake City. Is anybody from Utah? Nicholas, where do you live? So, junior mobile developer, iOS mobile developer, junior mobile developer, iOS developer, 4560. And again, like, I don't know prices in Utah, but I think I know an iOS developer in Utah. God, I forgot his name. But anyway, he has a YouTube channel and he lives in Utah. So I think he would be a good resource to help us out and see, like, is it a reasonable price for Utah? But Utah has jobs. Utah definitely has jobs as like iOS developer. Southern California. How do you like it there? How's life in Southern California, Nicholas? So yeah, we have jobs in Utah. So if you live in Utah, 5565, not bad, not bad. Not bad. All right. So y'all, it's been an hour and 16 minutes. It's been a great live stream, and I really liked hanging out with y'all, and I hope we had a great discussion. I wanted to bust out my LinkedIn page and look for jobs on LinkedIn as well, because my approach when I look for a job, I look on LinkedIn and Indeed, and try to see, like, sometimes companies will post exclusively on LinkedIn but won't post on Indeed. So thanks for a live stream. Yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out with me. I had a great time with y'all. So thank you for your questions. And I think we had a really great live stream. So it's okay, and I'm willing to relocate for a job. Yeah, I was thinking about relocating to California. So a couple of years ago, we visited San Francisco. We were absolutely in love with San Francisco. It's a great city. But after, like, then pandemic hit, then I reassessed my values. Do I really want to live in an expensive city? I mean, I still want to live in a city, like, because, like, I'm thinking about relocating to Denver, and Denver is still a big expensive city. But I I just I just realized, like, you don't have to live in San Francisco or even in Seattle to have a great job. So it's just the reality of the 2021 right now. It may change when we're back to, you know, new normal, but, like, as for right now, like, I don't need to be here to, support myself and have a job. So y'all, thank you, and I think we're gonna wrap it up. And I said it like 100 times, but for this time around, and that's for real, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you, and I will see you. If you're morning person like me, so I'm gonna have another live stream tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, Pacific Standard Time. Coffee, Swift, coffee, chat, Swift, and curse words. So when I'm going to just chat with y'all, like, and I'm probably gonna like talk about moving to Denver and like what, like, I don't know, like maybe I will talk about something else. But yeah, like I would like to chat with y'all. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. And